Sometimes people assume that the hardest part of serious illness is the medical situation. But for many families, the hardest part is something else. It is being the person responsible for making the decision. You may have been named as the healthcare surrogate, the power of attorney, the person expected to speak on behalf of someone who can't speak for themselves. And from the outside, it can look like you have authority, but from the inside, it often feels different. In the last video, we talked about how these situations are not just about the decision, but about the layers underneath the decision. And one of the most important layers is this one, the person carrying the responsibility. This video is for education and supportive purposes only. It does not replace conversation with your own healthcare team. And if you're new here, welcome to Care Navigator. My name is Judy, and I'm a caregiver educator. Thank you for clicking on this video. So let's dive deeper into the situation. Because being a surrogate decision maker is not just about choosing an option, it's about carrying weight. You may be thinking, am I making the right decision? What if I get this wrong? What if the family disagrees with me? What if they blame me later? And even when you understand the medical situation, that pressure doesn't go away because you are not just making a decision, you are holding the patient's wishes, the family's emotion, and your own sense of responsibility all at the same time. And in a situation like the one we have been discussing, that pressure becomes even heavier because you may understand that the condition is not survivable. You may recognize what the patient would have wanted, and still you hesitate. Not because you don't understand, but because you don't feel supported or because you're aware that the family is not ready or because making that decision feels like you are the one who is choosing what happens next. And this is where something important needs to be said. Being a surrogate decision maker is not about choosing what you would want. It's about representing what the patient would have wanted. That's called substituted judgment. But even when you understand that, it doesn't make it easy because you're still human. You still feel the weight of the moment. You still feel the presence of the family in the room. And you still feel alone in the responsibility. That feeling is real and it deserves to be acknowledged because when that pressure is not recognized, it can lead to hesitation, delays, or decisions that don't fully align with the patient's wishes. Not because the surrogate does not care, but because the situation feels overwhelming. And that's why support matters. Not just for the patient, not just for the family, but for the person carrying the decision. Because when the surrogate feels supported, they are more able to focus on the patient's values, separate emotions from responsibility, and move forward with more clarity. In the next video, we are going to talk about what actually helps in these situations when people are not in the same place and decisions feel stuck because there are ways to move forward that supports everyone involved without rushing the moment. If you're in a position like this right now, or you have ever had to make a decision for someone you love, you are not expected to carry it perfectly. These are some of the hardest decisions people make, and the weight you feel is a reflection of how much you care. If you need help organizing your thoughts before conversations like this. I've created a free caregiver decision guide. It is designed to help you walk into this situation with more clarity and direction. You can find it in the description below. And if this kind of guidance is helpful, you're welcome to stay connected and subscribe to this channel because navigating serious illness is not just about decisions. It's about supporting the people who are carrying them.